Hey everyone, it's your girl Jessica Danielle, and this video is going to be all about 2021 goals. And basically, my theme for this year is Who Said That? From Housewives. I'm going to insert a clip so y'all can get the, correlation.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
But basically, I actually want to start having Clubhouse conversations. If you're on Clubhouse, you know that it definitely can get deep, and I just want to start some conversations about, like, who said that you have to have this list of things before you turn 30. So I am currently 28 years old. I just turned 28 last month in December. Sagittarius gang. But it's just so much societal pressure on millennials and what are they, Gen Z. I think that's what y'all are. Gen Z, Gen X, one of them. Gen Z, I think. To have it all before you're 30. And it's like, who said that? And after you find out who said that, like, who said that was accurate, that was true, and that was word. Like, we just have to go by that. So for my 2021 goals, I am more so focused on just becoming a better overall person and securing my future, because we don't know how long we're going to be here. The pandemic just showed us how quickly things have changed and how we need to just always be on guard and be prepared for things. So I would say that my first goal is bulking up my savings. I understand that being a millennial, being a Gen Z, like you're just getting out of college and stuff, it's hard to really stack your bread if you have to, pay, if you own a home, you have to pay a mortgage, or if you have an apartment or you're renting a home, you got to pay rent. You have, car note if you have a car note. You have insurance, car insurance, regular insurance. You got to get groceries for food. You, if you do have cable or, streaming services, which, those are not necessities, but those are things that, we enjoy. And then also saving and having money to travel and do different things. Like, it's a lot. And adulting is hard. Like, these past, I would say, 6-7 years of me adulting after being out of college has been extremely rough, because it's hard to simultaneously be growing and maturing as a person while also being required to be independent. And we have a different mindset than, like, our parents and our grandparents. A lot of us want to have our own. We don't want to work for a corporation, or if we do want to work for a corporation, we want to work our way up so we can be the CEO, or so that we can gain as much knowledge so that we can own our own companies, or we just want to start off, our own businesses and brands and, different things. We don't really want to work for anybody anymore. So when we have that mindset, it's kind of hard, because once you graduate and you might not already have a business, or you're not big on YouTube or whatever, you have to work a job. Like, you have to use that income to basically live and to ultimately jumpstart what you really want to do. So that being said, like I said, my first goal is to just bulk up my savings, to just make sure that I am more prepared than I was in the pandemic. God has been great. God has been faithful this year, but I was furloughed for about 3 weeks from my job, and thank God that I was able to get unemployment. But unfortunately, I didn't get the unemployment until like 5 months later, because there was an issue. So just thank God that I was still able to make ends meet with the help of my husband's income and things like that. It was just rough, I had to get a new car at the beginning of 2020, which was not expected. So that's another bill. So I just want to prepare myself for future things that could come up, or even just saving for future things. Like, I do want to buy a home in 2020. Obviously the car is out of the question. I just got a new car, so a car isn't, everything. I don't really care that much about cars. And if you do, no shade. But I just want to start building so that I am prepared, so that I can, have ownership, and so that I can be prepared for my children to come and teach them that they should be saving as well. So that would be probably my number one goal. And that has been my goal for the last couple of years. But the way life has gone, I just haven't been able to fully, reach that goal. And I'm going to just be real. That's just what it is. But I'm trusting and believing in God that this year I'll really be able to just bulk my savings up and do what I need to do. And yeah, just do better. And I wouldn't even say be a better steward of my money, because I'm very great with my money. Like, my parents have always taught me to be a saver. So by nature, I'm a saver. I barely treat myself. In the last probably 2 years, I had to really teach myself, like, hey, Jessica, you need to make sure you're doing stuff for yourself too, and not just always securing stuff for the future, or always just making sure this money goes to bills and that's it. So my second goal would just be being more aware of my communication and what I say, and basically my impact on people. So I was watching a podcast. Shout out to Kev on Stage and Miss Kev on Stage. They had an episode, which was like a group therapy episode, and the therapist on there was talking about intent versus impact. And it really struck me, because I'm the type of person that, if I have hurt your feelings or I've done something to you, I'm going to always apologize. I have no problem apologizing. But I will admit that whenever I do apologize, I make it known that, it was not my intention to hurt you. But I do apologize for hurting you. But that also kind of just takes away from that person's truth. So instead of, always mentioning that it wasn't your intention, you still did hurt that person. So this year, I want to just be more aware and more cognizant of how I'm operating, on how I've made people feel, because I know that I can be a very blunt person how I say things. Like, I could just be like, if you know me, I can just be like, okay, like, what? But it's not me trying to be condescending. Like, in my mind, it's not like, oh, I'm trying to make this person feel inferior or make them whatever. It's just like, that's just how I talk, because I'm a pretty chill person. Like, it takes a lot for me to not be even tempered. So the way it's perceived is like, I don't care, or, I'm, like I said, just thinking that I'm better or something. And that's not what I'm doing. But I also need to work on how I'm saying stuff, because that's how it's coming across. Even though it's not my intention to do that, that's how it's coming across. So I need to be more intentional and aware of how I'm speaking. And this is for everybody in my life, but when you're in a romantic relationship, a marriage or whatever, your spouse is going to tell you what your flaws are. And that's one of my flaws. And that's something that I have to work on. And I'm very open to that, because I know that I can always be a better version of myself. And yeah, sometimes it does sting to hear the truth about yourself, but it's only going to make you better if you do try to improve upon those areas. So that would be my second one. My third one would be, I don't want to use the word intentional, but like to be more, and not even productive, because I've had a problem with, like, if I'm not doing something, it makes me feel like I'm not being productive when I need to be honoring just resting. Like, there's going to be times where I don't feel like doing something, or I just want to chill and watch my show, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there also has to be a balance of basically what I'm feeding myself during my relaxation time. So I don't want to always just be on the couch or up in my room watching a good show. Which there's nothing wrong with doing that when you want to do that. But for me, I'm trying to make sure that that's not what I do every single time. I want to make sure that I'm spending time. I want to get back into meditating. Like, back in 2016, 2017, I used to meditate a lot, because I used to struggle with insomnia, and it really helped me quiet my mind before bed. So I've been starting back meditation, and I use the Simple Habit app. That's really good. So I want to just get into that. Like, if I've had, a rough day and I need to decompress from work or whatever, I can, meditate, calm my breathing, center myself, in my thinking when I get home, instead of watching the show that's always going to be on demand. You know what I'm saying? Just being aware of where my free time is going. So yeah, just meditating, even reading a book, reading a good book, because last year one of my goals for 2020 was to read more, and I think that I bit off more than I could chew. I was saying like a new book every month, and honestly that's just not feasible for me. Like, I have a lot going on. I work a full-time job, and unfortunately, like a lot of you guys, during COVID, you work from home. I only work from home on Wednesdays. That's the only day that I have at home. Like, I have to go into the office. I have to go to the office every day except for Wednesday. So I don't really have that luxury of building my own schedule of like, oh, wake up, work out, do my work, then I'll do this, then I'll do this. No, I have to go to work all day. When I get home, I have to either, work out, then cook dinner if it's my night to cook dinner. It's just a whole thing. I don't have the free time to just sit here and read a whole book every month. So a modified version of what I say for 2020 would be just to read more books, but if I had to put a number on it, 3 books. I think that 3 books is enough for 12 months. I'm still trying to finish a book from 2020, which is An American Marriage, which is actually a really good book. So I don't understand why I'm not done yet, but I kind of just fall off and I forget. That is another one of my goals, is just being better with my free time. I think another one of my goals would be to silence my inner critic. I definitely struggle a lot with imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, I'll put the definition of what it is on the screen. But off the top of my head, it's basically like you don't feel like you belong, or you don't feel like you're gifted enough, or you feel like you don't deserve the success that you've received. And sometimes I definitely struggle with that. Like, I'm my own worst critic. Like, I'm so hard on myself. Like, people who have watched The C Word, they think it's amazing, and I think the show is amazing too. Like, I worked so hard on that. I'm so glad that people actually saw it and it had an impact. But at the same time, it's just like sometimes I feel like it's not good enough. And I know that sounds crazy if you're watching this and you've seen The C Word, but I struggle with that, and I also struggle with like my talents and my abilities. Like, I can be better, or maybe I don't belong in this certain place or whatever because I didn't go to school for that. And it's like I have to constantly remind myself that God qualifies me, and just because I didn't go to school for a certain thing that I want to get into, I'm still talented in it. Like, I didn't go to school for film, but I made a really good web series, and I plan on doing more stuff. I didn't go to school for marketing or social media stuff, but I learned it, and I'm constantly learning and evolving in that as well. So I just have to constantly like hype myself up and silence myself and be like, girl, you're a bomb. You can always be better, but don't ever feel like you don't belong somewhere or that you don't have the talent. So I'm trying to think of something else, because honestly, y'all, I've recorded like this stream of videos like 2 or 3 times, and the sound didn't sound right because I was recording in my bathroom. So now that I have it on my tripod, the sound sounds better. So I'm trying to remember what I said in the past video. Another one of my goals, it'll probably be kind of like the last one, is to really elevate Redefine Woman, because that is my baby. Like, since 2016, when God gave me the vision to start Redefine Woman, like, it's has been my baby, and it's been definitely hard because it's hard juggling like a brand with working a 9 to 5, and I get discouraged a lot, I get depressed a lot, and I have not been putting a consistent amount of work into it like I should have been since 2016. But I will say that starting from June 2020 to now, I've been on it, like trying to just get better, trying to, get more followers. Obviously we live in a world that you got to have followers that are actually gonna be interested in what you are putting out there. But I want to get back to the basics of Redefine Woman, and that is our blog. I started it for it to be like a community for women, a supportive community, and I feel like I kind of got wrapped up into like the social media aspect, which is important, but I want to get into like building our readership, because I really work hard on the blog posts that I do. And over time, things have changed, because if Redefine Woman started as, 7 other women that blogged. So I wanted it to be kind of like different perspectives of women, you know, not just my perspective. So right now it's just my perspective, and then Samantha, you know, she helps as well sometimes. But I really just I want to get back to the basics of it being a blog and being just a community for women to come and to talk and to, you know, read different things, different perspectives, to just feel like they're not alone. So my goal for 2021 is to just build our readership, just have some relatable blog posts, because that's what I founded Redefine Women for. Of course, there's other things that I want to do to progress, and you'll see, you know, more things coming, but I want to get back to the basics of actually getting people to read our content. So yeah, I'm just excited about 2021. You know, my year has started off a little bit rough still, but I'm gonna keep going. It's only the beginning of the month, and as long as I'm here, I'm gonna keep, you know, putting all that I can into Redefine Women to make sure that I can make a difference in at least one woman's life. So I think I said in one of my other videos that I recorded today that I want to start doing Clubhouse conversations, or I might have said it at the beginning of this video. We'll see. But yeah, I do want to start doing Clubhouse not videos, but conversations. So it can just basically be a room to support women, and I'm open to doing like closed rooms, so it's only a couple women. If you don't, you know, want to talk about sensitive subjects in front of the whole Clubhouse audience, or if we want a bigger topic that we can include men on, or just more people in. So I think that I want to do the first Clubhouse video. I'll post it on social media and stuff, but I want to do just Clubhouse videos like twice a month. And I think that I'm going to incorporate the Women Crush Wednesdays videos into Clubhouse instead of it being on YouTube, because it really wasn't translating on YouTube. So that might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I think that people that are really interested in hearing other women's stories of how they got to where they are in their career, or how they started their business, or whatever, I think some women do want to hear that, and I think I'm going to transfer that to Clubhouse. So if you are interested in our Clubhouse conversations, make sure that you follow me on Clubhouse. My name is Jessica Danielle on there. It'll be on the screen and in the description box. And I'm hoping to start the first conversation at the end of this month, which is January. Hopefully this video will come out before the end of January. So yeah, those are my main goals of 2021. Drop your goals in the comments so that we can all keep each other accountable, and that we can be the best versions, so that we can be the best versions of ourselves for this world, for our future generations, all of that stuff, because we all know it's craziness going on in this world, but there's still great people in this world, and there's great people that are trying to, you know, enlighten themselves, to grow, to build legacy and all of that. So that's what I want to be a part of. So those are my goals for 2021, and I hope to see you in my next video. See y'all.